But you know, it does look really good with the 5 bolts.
Ooh, that would look good with the VANQUISH hardware.
Oh, shit. Why did you say something now? We're done.
Well, no, but it's good because we can just Loctite it and add it, remove one, Loctite and add. Go get them. What are we waiting for?
Hey guys, welcome back. On this episode, Jesse and I are gonna throw some new rims from RC4WD Drive and some new tires from Proline onto our 1985 4Runner. The rims we're going with are the RC4WD Drive 1.55 OEM stamped steel wheel. Now the stamp pattern's a little bit different from their wagon wheel. This is more to mimic the kind of OEM style steel wheel of like the 80s type vehicles. The tires we're going to go with are the always fabulous Proline. These little guys here are the Class 0 Interco TSL Super Swamper tire. These are 155, which are 3.85 tall and 1.45 wide. So they're really tiny, but if you're going to have a Toyota and you want it to look scaled to the 80s, you got to put some Super Swampers on it, and that's just the honest truth. The truck looks good now, but as you guys are aware, those tires look a little bit small for the gap we got dealing with here. Now you don't want to get too stupid and throw a 4.75 in there. We want to keep to a Class 0, Class 1, nice and small tire, and this guy is going to fit that bill just beautifully. He's a little bit, watch out Daniel. Okay, so as you guys see, this tire is a little bit taller and definitely a lot more aggressive. That's going to really obviously change the truck. And this is a 1.55, where this truck comes sitting on a 1.7 wheel. Now that's more of RC4WD Drive super scale wheels. They make some of the really nice fuel wheels in and stuff, and they also do their commercial truck wheels and rims and tires and such in the 1.7. It's a nice size compared to the 1.9, especially on a smaller, shorter wheelbase vehicle like this. The 1.9 would look like a donk, a little bit too much wheel, not enough tire. But bringing it down to the 1.55 with the scale 3.85 tire to a 10 scale, which would be 38 or so inches, give or take, it's a really nice fit. It's going to look amazing on here. So. Yeah, we're gonna fire these together. Now, if you guys have never built a set of RC4WD Drive wheels, you're in luck, because times have gotten better and they have become a better company, and their rims have gotten better to put together. Because there's times before where they've been difficult and you had to be really good at what you did. But like anything, all these companies get better over time. And these rims now are just beautiful to put together. Okay, so in the package you get 4 of these steel stamped OEM wheels. We got these in, I don't know if they listed the color on it. I think it was just gray. It's a nice gray, kind of metallic. It's not too fancy. It's not too dark. It kind of looks nice. It's gonna look good on there. Nice and plain looking. It's a trail truck. That's all you want. Billet wheels have their place. Depends the style of build you're doing. We're thinking about actually buying another one of these and doing them up like 79 Ferd on Instagram, one of our friends on Instagram. He's got the nice notch in the door cut out. He's got the top removed, and he's got full sliders and bumpers and stuff. And I was like, ooh. So we might build one of those to put on a trailer behind here. Of course, in our own style. We won't copy his much. No shit. But yeah, if you want to see what I'm talking about, go check him out. Instagram, 79 Ferd. He's got some pretty cool builds. I was geeking him out this morning. Well, it's 4Runner anyway. You want to start by removing the 5 screws. You'll notice that these wheels only have 5 holes, where the ones on the truck have 6. The 5 is more scale for the Toyota. Now, one thing you want to look for on the wheel is one of these 5 holes, this one, is lined up with the pin, or with the one post. The rest of them aren't. This one's a little bit off, you know what I mean? So when you're going to put them back together, you have to line them back up so you get a nice fit, or else you're gonna have, you know, like it's not gonna work. You're gonna have this weird look to it, right? So that's just one thing. When you put them together, make sure you line up both halves to drop them in. So let's put one together. Simple enough. Start the wheel. You can wash them afterwards. Don't worry about where the orange dot is or anything. Now these tires are non-directional. You can put them on anyway, so I guess not really omnidirectional, but they're... So start by taking that metal bead ring. Simple enough. Put it inside. Now you just want to make sure you don't hook the foam and kind of wrinkle that up as you're putting it in. And then you want to go through, I go and just squish it like this, so you can just make sure that ring is happy, everything's sitting there. Take a visual look in here. You can go all the way through and make sure this foam isn't tucked underneath or anywhere on it. Everything's sitting good. These little visual inspections you do will make your life a lot easier. There's a memory foam in here. It's really nice stuff. It's a single stage foam. A lot of people want to upgrade to a dual stage, yada yada yada. I've done great with a single stage G8 foam in, or G8 tire in a single stage foam with the Pro line of tires for years. So you want to go through and just, as you know, I'm pulling the bead a little bit, but I'm not yanking it out to pull it right out. And I'm just putting a little bit of pressure with my two fingers like this on the back of the bead, and then I'm just kind of squishing the rim on this side, pulling it, squishing it down like this. Just kind of pulling it, and that's how you go around slowly, and you can feel that bead and that wheel sit on that side and seat together, so it sits in there nicely. Now this is the side that I was just mentioning. You need to line up the holes. The easiest way to do it is to find the ones that line up. No, they all almost line up. These aren't like the wagon wheels where they're way off. With the 5-bolt, they almost all line up. Well, that's a score.
So I guess you...
Yeah, you really kind of can't... Yeah, no, these are... Yeah, these can... So that trick that I said, watch how the hole lines up, that more pertains to these wheels, where you can see where you'd have to start with like one there, and then you can see that guy doesn't line up. That guy's in the middle of that hole there. As we go around, it kind of gets a little skewed, right? So these 5-bolt ones actually, they line up. So now this is where it gets fun. You want to drop that in from the top, obviously. You want to make sure everything is lined up, and you can kind of get a visual. You can push it together with your finger and make sure that everything's lining up. And then make sure the bead is in all the way around. Now don't pull this side out until you put the screws in this side. Don't worry about doing any Loctite now. Once it's all seated, you can go back and do the screws one by one with Loctite. You're just gonna make a big ugly mess all over your hands, your workstation, you know, everything. So with these nice Vanquish screwdrivers, we can actually set that guy down with his bearing cap, set our hub threads onto the screw, anyone, because apparently it doesn't matter. And we can just always go backwards and then go forward on the threads, get that started. That's it, just get it started. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna put 3 screws in this guy, kind of in a triangle pattern. Just gonna run them down. There we go. Gonna run them down about halfway. Now the front side of the tire, if it looks good, like this, you don't have anything sticking out, you should be able to just pull that first edge of that bead back. You don't want to pop it out right now. You just want to lightly squish the tire so you get that little bit of that outside lip of the tire sticking out, because that should not be caught behind your bead. That will pull the sidewall of the tire and make it look goofy. So just lightly, like that. And we can tighten up those 3 screws. You want to work your way around evenly. You don't want to just go one side and squish the plate on one side. You want to work your way around. You could, if you do squish the plate on one side, you could push the tire bead out on the other end. So just work these down equally until they're all touching. Okay, so we got those guys in. I'm so used to doing with 6 bolts, I looked at the pile and I was like, I lost a screw. First set I've had with 5, like, honestly. Okay, so now we have them all seated down. I'm just gonna go around in a star pattern as you would tightening your tires on your car, and just make sure these guys are all tapped out right to the bottom. And then take a look at the tire, make sure you've got that little bit of that little, see the lip, boop, boop. Okay, so we just go through, make sure that's all seated, that looks good, front and back, everything's beautiful. Now the one thing that we need to do is run a breather into the tire. A lot of guys go through the rim, I go through the tire, a lot of guys go through the tire too. It works good for draining. So I just grabbed my trusty propanol torch. This is an old bit driver 1.5 millimeter that one of my buddies, every time he finishes tightening something, he goes good and breaks the tip off. So now it's a tire poker. Remember, if you're under the age 18, get your 18-year-old friend to do this. Some may call him dad. Don't smoke that, it's bad for your health. Preferably do this outside, not in your house like we're doing it, but our camera doesn't reach out there, so we're doing this for you guys. 2 breather holes right through the tire. Make sure they're nice and clean. You can... Now, so the purpose of us putting that hole in the tire is right now we're in the basement with the nice warm basement air. If we were to leave this tire truck with the air in it fine, not vented, it would be great until fall or spring where it is very cold, where Jesse and I play with our toys up here in Canada. When we would go inside this tire, we'd create a vacuum inside from the tire, the air temperature difference, and the tire would actually collapse on itself and you'd be running around with like this floppy noodle tire thing. It's hilarious, but then you got to find a way to quickly poke a hole in the tire with your bit drive or something, and that never works when you don't have anything to burn it with, because the hole just closes up like a one-way valve on itself and it still just becomes an issue. So some of our trucks we don't vent the tires, but this is a trail truck, it's getting the tires vented. Some of the trucks that we only run on the hot rocks in the summertime, we don't vent the tires on them. It's just different preference, different trucks. Some of the heavier trucks with the full Vanquish, everything they make in their catalog in them. Those girls get a little bit on the heavy side, especially got the big Curry F9 portals on the OG SCX10 and stuff. It's a beefcake truck, so we're gonna quickly throw these together, and then we're gonna throw these on the truck, and then we're gonna move on to doing some scale hubs that we picked up from RC4WD Drive. Here we have the RC4WD Drive Warren 110 scale manual locking hubs for the front, and then we've also got the RC4WD Drive 110 scale just RC4WD Drive flange nut cover. It just says RC4WD Drive, nothing fancy. And when you do want to run those, you got to spend an extra $15 on each one of these and pick up a tool. Look at that color already popping with the paint job, man. Like, that's gonna look so good on there, you guys. Like that's a fluke. It didn't really, I didn't know it was gonna look that good, but look at that. That's awesome. That's looking so good. The tire's gonna fill up that wheel well. It's gonna look so good. We're gonna throw these rims together in the next 2 minutes. You're gonna see us back here putting this together on the truck with these sexy scale hubs. And we're gonna turn this thing around and fill the back full of scale goodness that we are working on right now. We got a couple prints coming off the resin printer, is it FDM? FDM printer. We got the resin printer running. We got lots of sweet files from My Mini Factory from Night Customs. Sorry, I always say My Mini Maker and it's wrong. Okay, so now that we've got the rims looking absolutely fantastic, that color is popping with the truck looking great, we want to throw a little bit of Vanquish product spice at this like we do with everything. As we're going to go with the scale locking hubs on the front, the scale hubs on the rear to get that extra super scale look on the truck, we're going to throw these Vanquish scale hardware set. This is an M2x8mm stainless steel little tiny scale nut. So that's gonna look really nice instead of the Allen drive head on there. So yeah, you got to get yourself a nice one of these scale drivers. There's other brands that make them. You can buy just the tip to put in your unit, but we really like these Vanquish ball bearing drivers. They're absolutely fantastic. So we're gonna go through, swap out the hardware on the 4 tires. Unfortunately, we only have 20 bolts available right now. I need to go pick up another bolt to get the 5 more for the spare. That's gonna go on the rear, as we did do a set of 5 of these. So yeah, so that's one last thing we're gonna swap out, and then we're gonna get these on the truck, and then we're gonna turn that over to you guys. Okay guys, we're about ready to start putting these fabulous wheel and tire package from RC 4-wheel drive and Pro line that we put together to put onto our really awesome 1985 RC 4-wheel drive Toyota 4Runner, fully licensed by Toyota. The thing is absolutely beautiful, but the tires are a little bit small. The Vulcan Wild Peak's a nice tire, it looks fantastic, but this gap's a little bit much. There's my new pointer, by the way. I found in the back lane. This gap here is a little bit much, so we're going to throw that down with a bit fatter tire. So just a little bit bigger tire, not much on paper. They are actually the exact same size, but they're a little bit taller. Now the hubs on the back of these tires are a little bit wider. So right now we're going to take a quick measurement from outside to outside. We are at 8.25 inches. Write that down somewhere. We'll see if that changes. Hope it does. We're a little bit wider. So Jesse just finished putting in the Vanquish scale stainless steel 2x8mm bolts on there to finish that off. Absolutely beautiful looking. And I am just pulling out the RC 4-wheel drive part number Z-S0720 Warren scale locking front hub for, well, it doesn't have to be for Toyota, but this one's for a Toyota because we're putting it on there. So you get the cool little scale sheet. Fun fact with these, you paint silver behind them and put them on, they look 100 times better, like on the front of our winch. So these are amazing. You will not be able to see the detail on them with this camera, with this lighting, I don't think, but they have laser etched writing that says Warren in the middle, lock, unlock, and all that beautiful stuff. They are just off the chart for scale detail. They are fantastic. We will try to get some close shots with the camera that Jesse can snap a shot in there, because I don't think the video is going to see those, but those things are fire. Now for the front, you do need that locking tool that I talked about. It's an extra $15. Speaking of $15, if you go over to Eliminator RC, where we pick up all our parts, you can enter our name, ProNoobRC, into the coupon section and receive $15 off on every order of $100. So remember, ProNoobRC at your checkout and EliminatorRC.com on their online store will give you $15 off on every $100 you spend. That is an amazing deal, and it'll get you a free little tool like this to put the cap on. So, so yeah, check them out, you guys. That's where we pick up all our parts. As you know, we do shop local. We just gotta have it now, so I don't like waiting. Yeah, so look at how beautiful that fits. You want to make sure that it gets nice and seated. I like to do that off of the truck. Make sure my tool fits both the hubs before I go and put them on the truck and have a bit of a binding problem or mess something up. So let's swap these over here. Oh, my milk crates are falling. So all these tires are exact same. None of them are weighted. None of them are any different. So the beautiful part of that is we can just go and just swap whatever tire off whatever tire. Hey, get back here, Mr. Milk Crate. We couldn't find jack stands, so milk crates always work in a pinch because it's scale. Whoa. So these are not nylocked. A nylock is that little nylon ring around the end of the nut right there. As you tighten it up, you can feel it get tight. That's a lock nut to keep the threads locked onto the threads. You're gonna need some juice. Now with these scale hubs, you don't need to crank them crazy. You just wanna get them tight. This is a trail truck. We're not jumping it. We're not rock bashing it. It doesn't have 1/4 inch axles with fancy 6mm lug nuts or axle nuts or nothing. This is just have some fun and trail around. And so I don't know if you're starting to see what that's going to be looking like, but That's looking a lot better. You should see this side over here now. That guy missed leg day. Okay, for the rear hub we're using, it's these nice little red, kind of just a nice little cap for the rear axle with the RC four-wheel drive laser etched white logo in the middle. The part number is Z-S0756. We will be posting all these numbers for you guys later, so you can get these exact parts if you're following along and you want to do similar build. They have a few different types and styles, but we actually prefer these ones because they look the best. The other ones kind of just start to get cheesy. They're doing too much, and you know that's never good, right? So again, with that one, you're going to need another tool. And the part number on that tool is going to be ZS0757, which is pretty much one number off from that one, so you know they go together. Now the pain in the butt thing about these tools is trying to keep track of them. I've got a whole bunch of different types for all the different scale ones we have, and I sometimes see them like an old friend when I'm digging through the parts bin. I'm like, oh, there it is, and then when I need it, I don't know where it is. So try to find like a bin or something you can separate them all in. Make sure your tool fits nice and flush. You don't want to have nothing goofy when you go to put them in. You got to put some torque on it. So, and once again, non-nylock nut. This one might be nylock. Non-nylock nuts. So you're gonna have to. No, these ones actually might be. Only way to find out to put it on. So, okay. So simple enough. Put that on. I did take my screwdriver or my bit driver, and I did make sure the hex hub was tight, as they did not get any Loctite in the factory. And thread that guy in, of course, by hand. So with these, you gotta be really careful. The front one fit nice. The front's got a 6-pin drive. The rear only has 4, so you really gotta keep it straight as you can and turn it. So you don't want to get it where it's just resting on one pin, because you'll snap them off. From grocery getter to what do you need from the store? Now, those tires are the same size on paper. See the little hub in the back there? This hub, this guy's about double the depth, so that's going to push the rim out a little bit, but not as much as going with the deep offset, the deep dish wheel, which is going to be too much for when you're steering, and you're going to be all up in here, as we are already, but you know, you're going to get some rubbing in there. But if you go the deep dish, that tire is now going to be out a ½ inch farther. You're going to lose that steering, and it's going to be brutal. So, you want to see that again? Oh, we're going to see this side again. Yeah, so same size tires on paper, a little bit wider offset on it, looking amazing. We might maybe start thinking about the flares, but man, I can't get over just the look of them. We need to call Mr. James Knight over at Knight Customs and be like, bro, we need some fenders for this thing. Make it happen, we'll buy them. And then if he 3D prints some fenders for this, I will totally buy those and put those on, because his stuff is an insanely good fit. So we're going to throw the other 2 tires, then we're going to get some cheesy shots and stuff and turning it around for you. And then we're going to go to throwing some scale accessories into the back. We got some different mill crates. These are from our boys over at Simply RC's. We've got some printed in-house, a little bit bigger to go with the scale of the truck. And we've got a full package deal with a bunch of different cans. We got oil cans and brake fluids and all that stuff. Actually fits nice into them. Right now we are just working on some artwork to go onto these, and then you guys will actually be getting these in some of the giveaways we'll be doing. So these are the units here. Stay tuned, you guys. Once we get our labels figured out, we're going to be doing the Pro Lube kind of stuff on the side, but we gotta do Pro Lube, that's a brand, so we're gonna do kind of our own twist on the Pro Noob into the lube thing. You'll see. Kind of all different fluids that we use. We're gonna put that together in a package. You guys will be getting these in our giveaways. We'll be giving away one a month to our viewers, and we'll just keep that running. We'll probably change them up as we go, a little bit different, but it's nice to kind of give back with stuff like that. We're gonna change out the other 2 wheels, and of course, we did the spare. So We're going to change out those other 2 wheels, and then we're going to get you that measurement of the final width. I'm going to say she's almost 3/4 of an inch wider from the outside of the tire to outside of the tire. So I'm going to get that done. We'll see you guys back here for some more chit chat in a couple minutes. These blocks and stuff. Okay, so we got that package sitting there. Sweet, that thing looks mean now compared to that stock look it had. So yeah, we're 1/2 inch wider, 8 3/4. So yeah, 1/2 inch wider overall, 1/4 inch each side. It's not a ridiculous amount of tire poke. It doesn't look like we're rolling Hawaiian style on drums, tires sticking out to next week. Looks very decent. If you're copping my town, you'd probably let it ride. Even though TSLs aren't road legal, they seem to let everybody roll on boggers around here, so I don't know. Whatever, Jim. Yeah, so overall, being a 1/2 inch wider, it's going to give you a lot more stability. These tires have a ton more traction with the scale hardware, the scale hubs. It just goes with everything else. We've got the scale stickers on the windshield, the little park passes. We got the full detailed interior. We even got stains on the seats. And now we're working on putting in a couple of scale details in the rear. Okay guys, so now we have a question for you. We have the scale CC hand roof rack and mounts coming in from RC 4-wheel drive, the Yakima one, and or by CC hand or whatever. It comes with a bunch of different brands. You can make it what you want. It's going to look fantastic. On top of that, we need to cut a foam mount so we can mount our Piranha kayak on top of it. Now, we're going to ask you guys and leave it for you to decide if we're going to put it on the side of the truck, driver's side, passenger side, or run it in the middle on top of the roof rack. There is other stuff going in. We can run down the sides, it's no problem. We can make it work, but we're going to leave that for you guys to decide and let us know in the comments. Yeah, we're not rushing into that one. We'll leave that comment section open for a couple months and we'll come back to that one. I'm sure we'll get a couple answers pretty quick. Besides that, right now, that's going to bring us to the end of the wheel and tire upgrade. We have the package of more 3D printed accessories that we're working on, and we're going to go into that into the next video. We got a tiny RC car that we put together from the Fast and the Furious. Okay, so that pretty much is going to wrap up the end of this episode that we wanted to get into our tires. You can see we've got the full package with the spare tire mounted on the CC hand aluminum bumper with the swing out. Absolutely fantastic. Next episode, we are going to get into a few things, scale details. These 99-cent tech decks work pretty good for throwing in the back. They got some funny stuff on them. If you actually spray that with flat clear or semi-gloss clear, it'll start to look more realistic, and it looks a lot better, trust me. We show you how we'll do that. And then we're mocking up one of our little RC car packages with a can you see that? With a little F-150 Lightning metal die cast from Jada Toys and a little tiny radio. Yeah, so this is a little package that we're working on that we put in the back of the trucks. We actually might have some more of these for giveaway too coming up, but those aren't going to go out every month. Micro Machines are very hard to get your hands on the original. These ones are actually Jada Toys. They're metal die cast. Pretty cool. Yeah, so we got these little radios that Jesse found a file on Thingiverse for. Printed those up. We're going to paint those. We got the little truck. We got more of these little milk crates from Simply RCs. We're going to load up the back of that with a bunch of camping gear and all that stuff and just kind of finish outfitting it. Our next video will not be on this truck, unfortunately, unless you see it in the shorts out in the trail, just kind of cutting some trail, some good raw footage of it there. We have a couple other builds planned. We are waiting on a few parts from our friends at Eliminator RC from RC 4-wheel drive, as in the roof rack, and I can't remember, there was a few other things that we had ordered. Oh, mud flaps, scale exhaust, just a few things that RC 4-wheel drive had available. We put an order with Eliminator. Okay, well, that's going to bring us to the end of the wheel and tire package upgrade. We covered all our bases. We got the spare tire, we got the wheels, we got the tires, RC 4-wheel drive wheels, Proline tires. We went the RC 4-wheel drive scale rear hub. We went the RC 4-wheel drive scale front hub. It's all just making this truck actually fit together phenomenally. The color of the wheels is popping off the color of the body fantastically, and that's with all these random LED softbox lighting things. Once you get out in the sun, you get a little bit of dust and dirt on everything, it's all just going to look fantastic. A little bit of mud, it's going to look just beautiful. You know, the truck, I liked it a lot, but these, I just like every time I went to bed at night, I was having nightmares of these tires on it. They're cool, but they just don't suit the truck. Toyotas need the TSL, man. Like, they're just, it's part of classic Toyotas. They look the best on the Toyotas than anything else. That's just my personal opinion. You'll find a lot of people in the comments are going to agree with that, because that's just Toyota life. So, yeah, with the reverse shackle mounts, with the bumpers, all that stuff. You've seen the bumpers in the last video go on there. You've seen the shackles in the shackle mounts in the first video. The scale details going through it. It's just turning out to be a fantastic truck. We just got to get sliders for the side. We get that roof rack up from our friends over at Eliminator RC. We've got those on order. We got the sliders, we got the mud flaps, we got the roof rack, we got the exhaust, all that good stuff. And remember, guys, if you are shopping, and please go shop at Eliminator RC. They are a very large hobby shop in Canada. They can get you anything you need. Use our YouTube name, ProNoobRC, on their online store at your checkout to get yourself $15 off when you spend $100 online. That's a fantastic deal. So, yeah, I think they got one more in stock of these. If you hurry up and buy it before I do, you might get your chance to get one. So, if not, I'm going to go back and buy it, because these are awesome. So, we'll see you guys here on the next video. Unfortunately, the next video will not be about this truck, because we're waiting on all those parts from our friends at Eliminator to get in. Things have been slow with COVID, and the truck is hot and fresh, so it takes time for parts to get up here in Canada. We're in the Great White North, and yeah. So this guy's going to be out in the next couple short videos, so make sure you're checking the bottom of our page channel for the shorts. And you're going to see this guy just doing some raw footage. You can hear his little motor whining and crying away out there. We still running this guy on NIM. We're going to leave him on NIM. I like the weight that it gives. It gives the truck some bounce. And, you know, there's like, it's an RC. We're not going comp crawling. This is a heavy truck. It's not crazy heavy, but it's good. It stays planted. It performs good. It moves like a real truck. You know, it's got a lot of nice flow to it, that big heavy battery. Once you start going light and putting all your weight in the front and stuff, you're getting away from what this is. This is not a competition vehicle. This is a trail scale truck. It's not going to have weight where you want it. It's going to be, you know, you get what you get and you do the best you can. This is a driver's machine, and I love it. This thing is just fantastic. I want to go buy another one tomorrow, but yeah, I got to get that new TRX Bronco first, so. So yeah, we're gonna see you guys on the next video, and stay tuned. Wait till this guy comes back. He's gonna be awesome once we get everything going. Still decided I don't want to put a light bar on the front or on the rack. I don't like that. It's cheesy. Might get some of the round KC lights down here or something that guys did back in the day. We'll look around at some stuff. So yeah, we'll check you guys back here next week with another video. We got some more builds coming up. We got a SCX-10-2 4Runner and an SCX-10-2 4Raptor. Nope, 4 Ranger.